Yo, 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 yo. What's up, motherfucking world? What's up, what's up, what's up? The Adventures of Curtis Powers back in this bitch one more again. I'm gonna talk a little shit with y'all today. We gotta talk some shit today. I had somebody made a comment to me, and let me tell you, I have got to respond to what the fuck they said. I ain't even get to make an intro. I ain't get to show my Dior fit I'm rocking right now. None of that shit was more important than what and who I'm about to talk about right now. And this topic touches a couple aspects of the kid's life, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna get right into this shit. I am sitting in my office, sitting in my whip, that's the office. And I just, I'm ready to address this topic while I'm in the mood, while I got time. It's beautiful. It's 65 degrees where I'm at right now. Sun shining, palm trees, mountains, all that beautiful shit. And I know the rest of the United States is up under all kind of winter storm advisories and snow and cold and icky. Let me just show y'all I ain't lying. You see that? I ain't lying. See that? I ain't lying. Beautiful out here. And I just decided to pull over right here. This look like a safe spot because I ain't want to make this video when it got dark. So I was like, let me stop what I'm doing, pull over right now and get this video in. So hopefully won't nobody disturb me or bother me. So check 1, 2. Everybody knows, for those of you that don't know, I am from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, sir. 502 stand up. West End, nigga. West End stand up. Park Hill stand up. One tray all day. Yeah, your boy lived in all the projects from Southwick to Carter Homes to Iroquois. I'm known throughout that motherfucker. I went to Westport. I went to Wagner. I went to Chenoweth. I went to Southern. My last school I attended was Butra Metropolitan. Y'all know what the fuck that is if you from the city. So yeah, let's dive right into this shit. So I was having some talks and discussions about this rap industry and who I think is hot and who I think is not and whatever. And everybody know number one on my list is Kevin Gates. No homo. I just don't think nobody's solid and real as that nigga. I don't think nobody's spitting like that nigga spit. And when it comes to this rap game, and as far as a nigga being official, hands down, Kevin Gates number one. A lot of other niggas I like listen to and I respect. Pooh Shiesty has not came out my thing yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got the Mercedes, the 6 disc changer. So although I listen to Bluetooth and all of those shit, I still keep the CDs packed. And I'm gonna tell you some CDs that will not come out of here. Pooh Shiesty, Honeycomb Brazy, and other than some old throwback shit, I'm an old nigga, Master P and some throwback shit, Young Dolph. Young motherfucking Dolph. That's what we having this conversation about. Now, as far as groups, TSF hands down. Shout out TSF, man. Motherfucking Sauce Walker and his camp. I hope everything goes smooth with you cats, man. I hope, whatever y'all going on with that legal affair, I hope it snaps back because we need y'all. We need the sauce. We need the sauce, baby. And you niggas that ain't respecting the sauce, y'all got the game fucked up. We ain't talking about none of them other cats. We talking about this man built his whole empire by himself. He's basically independent. He getting that bread for real, and he made good music, and he talented. The boy can really rap. So can the artists on his label. There's a lot of them. There's too many to name. A few, y'all know one of my favorite, Young Drippy. Yeah, Young Drippy. I fuck with L Train. I just don't want to leave out nobody, so I ain't gonna name it. Just know that camp is what's up. Honeycomb, come home, man. Come home and drop some more music, man. I fuck with that boy Finesse 2 times real tough, too. I really do. And I'm not saying there's other niggas out there that I ain't feeling a vibe and a rocking with, because I am. But I'm just giving my aspect. Now, let me get to this Dolph situation. So, as I said, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, the West End. Shout out to all the people trying to come up out my city, especially trying to make it in this music and get themselves together. We got a lot of local artists out the city. You know, I can go all the way back to Underground Mafia. We'll talk about it another time. You know, Young Hurricane, that's another nigga that I think should have got more exposure out the city. And there's so many more. You know, J1, rest in peace. Don't get me started on the city. But we talking about an up-and-coming artist that's really got his foot in the door. ESTG. Now, I am very, very proud and honored to have bruh from the city. You know, we got Bryson Tiller. You know, we got, I don't feel like trying to think of all the people that came out the city and did something. Rest in peace, Static Major. The list just goes on and on. So, even them Nappy Roots cats had a couple cats out the Ville, but scratch that. ESTG. I like dude's flow. I'm very happy that he's successful out of my city. But there's some things that, you know, if you're from my city, you understand the politics with that. You know, bruh's out of Newburgh. You know, I'm from the West End. You know, Newburgh and West End has always bumped heads a little bit. Let me shout out Newburgh. There's a lot of niggas out there that's about their money and about they stepping. You get what I'm saying? Them boys is, they not busters. Let me just clear that right now. There was always a little thing. The Newburgh niggas was busters or weak or some shit. They just do their own thing out in Newburgh. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them niggas. I know a few niggas in the bird that's getting it, and I respect highly. I know we constantly got wars going on. I'm a certified West End nigga. Anybody can vouch for me. Anybody. I've only lived from the end of Broadway up. Started at the end of Broadway. From there, Cecil and Broadway. From there, 32nd and Broadway. Everybody know me. Lil Kurt by the Vaddock. 32nd and Broadway. 3209. That's where I grew up. And I had sisters that would have babies. They get their little Section 8. So that's how I end up in the projects. Rest in peace, Van Jenkins. On the hill in Southwick. Everybody know I live right next door to Van Jenkins. And we rocked out. Cotter Homes. All the Cotter Homes memories and shit. You know, and everybody from the Cotter Homes. 32nd and Broadway. Shout out to the whole East Line crew, the whole Trey Deuce 32nd crew. You know, that's how I ended up in Park Hill. Shout out to my whole Park Hill crew. You know, that's how I brought that crippin' from California and Vegas and threw it into the city and put it into the mix, you know. So shout out to One Trey Park Hill. Shout out to everybody. But I was talking to somebody, and they was asking me, you know, being from Louisville, how I feel about the ESTG cat and all of that. And like I said, I give him his props. I'm proud of his success. I'm proud that he signed a deal with a major label and he's doing some major things. The boy, you know, nobody's perfect. And I'm just saying, he's from my city and he's putting on. So I've got to, you know, respect him and shout him out. But I have some problems because who he signed with. I don't like who he signed with. I don't like that label, and I used to have a little respect for that label, but CMG, I'm gonna say it, that whole Yo Gotti camp. Now, I fucks with Moneybagg Yo, you know what I'm saying? For some reason, I feel like he ain't have a problem with my boy Young Dolph, my nigga. My boy Young Dolph, rest in peace, Young Dolph. They took out Young Dolph. It was a very, very painful, emotional time for me, and that hurt my soul. So, shout out to that, and I'm gonna just get on that, because the first thing the cat said to me was, you don't even know them niggas. How do you feel a certain type of way about Gotti and Young Dolph and all of that? Woo, woo, woo. Oh, contraire, my friend. Let me just break down to you. Your boy Kurt definitely knew Young Dolph. No, I didn't know Young Dolph on a big boy, rich, hip-hop level and all of that. But I knew Young Dolph as a man from Memphis. Now, everybody know that Young Kurt, since the beginning of time, I've been on that highway. I done lived in 12 states and over 30-something cities. From fucking Atlanta, all the way to Cali, Vegas, Houston, you name it. Your boy lived there. Your boy was a part of that shit. I done bumped heads and rubbed elbows with a many nigga, gangsters, solid, rappers, busters, you name it. So, this video, I'm going to tell my story of what I know and how I know Young Dolph. How I knew Young Dolph. and why I have so much respect for Young Dolph, and why I'm devastated about what happened, and I've chose sides with that beef. For those of you who don't care, oh well, but a few people care and inquire. So, my second penitentiary bit. First time was out in Las Vegas. Second penitentiary bit was in my state, Kentucky. Caught a case in Louisville, Kentucky. Won't get into details. However, I ended up doing 7 flat. 7 flat, I sat in that penitentiary. You know, whoever was in that Jake with me, shout out to y'all. You know, we was everywhere, North Point, Green River. We did that. We did that time. So, I was away from told you I stayed traveling. I stayed on that road. Every time you look up, you didn't know when I was coming or going or what state I was going to call from. A lot of cats I got to, you know, chop it with a little bit, you know, from Slim Thug in the Houston scene. The last Mardi Gras before Hurricane Katrina, you know, I was kicking it with Anthony Boswell and a whole lot of them No Limit cats right there and up, you know, in the... I seen it all. I was all in the Calio projects, the Magnolia projects. I had a little nigga that was from New Orleans, and the whole time I was down there, he ran me around and really had me chilling with these cats. You know, Anthony Boswell, me and you chill. You had your daughter with you. We sat out there, me and the homie Psycho. We sat out there and kicked it. You boys took me under your wing, showed me love, whatever. So let's fast forward to 2012 when I was released from prison. From 2005 to 2012, I did my little time in Kentucky. When I got out, my Las Vegas family, shout out Young Velly and Lisa and the whole team, they had moved from Las Vegas to Memphis. So I was only out about a couple of weeks. You know, I hit the ground running. Everybody can tell you I came out the penitentiary with nothing, and within a couple months, I'm pulling Lexus off the lot. I'm back getting it. I'm that nigga. Rest in peace, my nigga Kane. Without him, I couldn't have done it. But however, I get a call from my people. They like, man, we right down here in Memphis, you know, in Tennessee. Ain't that close to you in Kentucky? I'm like, boy, you 6 hours away, nigga. I'm on my way. And they told me, man, you need to come down here. It's cracking. You need to do this. You do woo woo. And I'm like, say no more. I'm trying to get this bag. Came down there ASAP. East Memphis. That whole area in East Memphis. Forgive me if I can't remember all the streets and shit, but I know I was off of Mendenhall and so much shit we did in East Memphis. Everything, you know what I'm saying? And I got down there and I got to meeting all kind of niggas and chopping it with all kind of niggas, and just to say it was a success. It was a fucking success. And everybody knows I used to do music. I used to be in that rap shit. I was able to make 1 CD before I lost my deal. And, you know, I've always had a close ear in my heart in hip-hop and the music industry or whatever. So, however, I'm down in Memphis. My people take me down to Beale Street. Beale Street, for y'all that don't know, in Memphis is where it cracks. It's like a downtown area where the whole street is a party. It's full of clubs on each side and little bars and restaurants. And anybody that know anything about Memphis or Tennessee know about Beale Street. Let's just keep that authentic right there. So I'm on Beale Street. I'm chilling. You hear me? I'm with my crew. You dig? And one thing Kurt do, because I'm an international nigga. I'm an international player. I stay hitting that road, and I pop up in cities where I never been before. I ain't got a kinfolk or a homeboy there. I just show up at that city and make it happen from there and be there for a year or two. And, you know, and they love me. They embrace me. That's another video of all the places and how, but let's stick to this Dolph thing. So I'm on Beale Street, kicking it with my crew, Young Velly. I can't remember if T-Dubs was down there at the time or not. Young Velly was with his girl, you know, Lisa. And since they was coupled up and I wasn't with nobody, I hadn't met, you know, a female yet. Although I did, but I hadn't met one yet. So they doing that couple shit, you know. They, you know, and Kurt would wander off. I would often wander off when we go out in places like that. You subject look up, be like, damn, where Kurt? Kurt's off networking. Kurt's a networker. Kurt was a baller. Kurt's out networking. So I just walk off my own direction. So I walk down from where we was with, chilling, I kind of wandered off a little bit, looking at things and admiring shit. And I think I was on my phone, my celly. So on my phone, I done wandered off talking on the phone or whatever. That's when I was approached by this tall nigga smoking a blunt. This tall nigga, he was Gucci down. And this is before I was even into all this designer shit at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was rocking designer shit before I went to penitentiary, but hit and miss. Burberry, Fendi, Gucci. I was in it a little bit, but I wasn't dedicated to it like I am now. Nor did I know nobody that would drape themselves in it like this nigga. This nigga Dolph approached me with a blunt about this motherfucking fat like my goddamn thumb, probably bigger. And he was blowing. He was fly as a motherfucker, Gucci down. And he walked right up to me. And he's like, "What's up, man? What's up?" And he was trying to hand me a CD. Now, I told you I do a lot of traveling. So I done met so many local artists. And I try to be supportive of local artists because they fuck around and blow up later. and I was a local artist at one time that went state to state handing my CD out for free. And this man wasn't trying to charge me for this goddamn CD. He was just like, "What's up, man? I got some heat for you, something to that nature. I got something for you it's dope, nigga. Where you from?" I'm like, "Louisville, Kentucky, man, but I'm nationwide. I'm everywhere, man. I'm Houston, Cali, Vegas, He's like, "What? You be here?" So we start name dropping different little. He knows some players I know in Houston. He knew some players I knew in Atlanta. We name dropping because the boy, he a real certified street nigga. You dig? So he's like, "Yeah, man." He gave me the CD. This is back. It wasn't even in the CD case you open. It was in a sleeve. It was the CD called A+. If anybody know the history of Young Dolph and where it started or what he did, you would know about that motherfucking A+ CD. That was one of the first that I had ever known of because I had never heard of him, and I guess a lot of people hadn't. And this nigga was like, "Man, here, man, I'm telling you, bang your shit." And I'm like, "But I'm telling you, man, I do that rap shit too, man. So if that shit ain't heat, you know what I'm saying?" He's like, "Man, I'm telling you, gonna love that shit." He's like, "Spit something for me. Spit something." Man, I spit some bars for that nigga, man. I remember what I spit for the nigga. I can clearly remember what I spit for the nigga. I spit a little 16 or some shit just to show him, I really do that now. I was 34 when I got out of penitentiary. I'm 44 now. So we talking 10 years ago. You get me? So at 34, I still had it in me a little bit thinking I was going to be a rapper. And, I spit the little shit for him. You know what I'm saying? Should I spit it? It was something like the plans to relax in the sand, retire fast as I can, 2 Asian bitches with fans, speaking Asian with tan, sipping Grey Goose and cran, my own island and land, my own pilot can land wherever he wanna land, recipe for the crack rock, it's still hot, www.crockpot stove top, same spot where Should got Tupac shot, blackjack, crap table, nickel, dime, quarter slots, hop, dummy rabbit, stop eating, let me stop, I'm just saying, so there was some shit like that, right? However, he was feeling that shit. This nigga pays me the blunt. Shit. I'm hitting the blunt. It's gas. You hear me? Yeah. That part. I wasn't even supposed to hit the blunt, nigga. I was on parole. I wasn't even supposed to be in Memphis. I hopped on Greyhound and shot to Memphis and just would shoot back to Louisville every month to check in with my PO. Whole time I'm down in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Woo! So the fact that I seen the nigga coming, like handing people CDs at my periphery before he actually made it up to me. I'm a street nigga. I'm observing everything around me. Bill Street, there's a lot going on. It's jumping. I'm talking jumping. Music coming out of 6, 7 different clubs. Bitches, niggas, thugs, goons, And Memphis always been about that action. So steppers everywhere, nigga. I'm down there with a big blick. However, so I'm like, I'm noticing this nigga is taking a liking to me, obviously, because he ain't just gave me the CD and moved on like he did everybody else. This nigga chopping with me. He's passing this blunt. His boys, I wish I could tell you the niggas' names he was with. I can't tell you none of this sort, man. He was with some niggas, and he was with about 3 niggas. And these niggas was, enjoying the atmosphere too. And they gave me props on my little flow. And he told the nigga roll up. And man, he just busting down swishers, rolling and shit, man. We smoking and chilling right there. That man chilled with me for about 30, 45 minutes right there, man. I kid you not. I kid you not. I chopped it right there with Young Dolph, man. He was like, look, I got that gas here, man. I got that smoke in. So here, he gave me his number. Man, I'm going to hit you. I'm new to Memphis, man. Man, fuck with me. He's like, yeah, man, I'm going to fuck with you, man. And, it's somebody we knew out of Atlanta. Can't be name dropping that type of shit. That's real certified street niggas and steppers and shit. But they looking at this, they hearing this, they know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. So, and then that's the second time that I bumped into Dolph, was later on, a few years later in Atlanta. But however, so at this point, this nigga knew my name. You know what I'm saying? My nickname, everybody know, was Spook. Spook Gotti, to be exact. Some people call me Gotti, some people call me Spook. Some people say Spook Gotti. You know what I'm saying? But more on the West Coast, they call me Gotti. And more back home and down south, they call me Spook. So he was like, all right, yeah. You know how Dolph talk. Yeah, little Spook, man. Hey, man, fuck with me, man. Fuck with me, man. Woo. Yeah, so we chill, Eventually my people call my phone like, man, where you at? Worried about me and shit. Like, man, it's Memphis. You can't wander off like that. And I just felt really safe with the niggas I was with. And I'm like, man, I did the same thing in New Orleans at the Mardi Gras. That's how I ended up with Peace people. But however, I was like, man, I'm in good hands, man. I'm down here chilling with Dolph, man. Young Dolph, man. And they like, who? They ain't know the fuck I was talking about, man. Because at the time, he was just local. He was trying to get his shit out. So I'm right here in front of the whoop-de-whoop by the whoop-de-whoop, standing with the whoop-de-whoop. So they waited with me, man, until these niggas walked up. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, we dapped it off. He went his way, I went my way. Now, I stayed down in Memphis for about a year and some change, man. So at the time while I was still down there, when I needed that smoke, I hit this nigga. Now, mind you, I wasn't smoking. I only hit the blunt with him because, man, he put me on the spot. You get what I'm saying? Put me on the spot. Plus, I had my POs and shit, they thought I was the greatest. They felt like I did everything right. I ain't had no dirty, none of that. I wasn't worried about it. So, man, I was trying to grind a little smoke down there, and I kept it in because of that nigga Dolph. 4 or 5 times I got back on with bro, and when I did, we met up somewhere. He pulled up on me, we chopped, we talked. He was in a Tahoe one time. He was in a Caddy one time. He was in at the time I'm down there, I got a big Lincoln Town Car on 22s, you know what I'm saying? Chrome, Vogues and all, slapping the trunk. Man, I always been about that life, nigga. All my whips always been the shit, and you can ask anybody. So I'm down there in my stinking Lincoln, nigga. It's before I was driving foreigns. I'm down there in my stinking Lincoln, you get what I'm saying? And when I would pull up on the nigga, I looked the part. I'm always fresh. I'm always jewels. I'm always in a nice whip. Now, I'm not saying I was on his level, was or wasn't. I'm just saying I fit in perfectly. He loved the nigga. Loved the nigga swag. So many niggas, like that neighborhood you be talking about, Castaigne, however you say that shit, that block. I done met him on that block several times, and he be out there with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 niggas. And all them niggas would be like, they knew that Lincoln, man. It's times he tell me pull up over that motherfucker, he ain't pull up yet. And nobody bother me, man. And when I would get out that car and go talk to him, niggas would dap me up and show me love. He'd be like, yeah, Spook, man. So that nigga from Louisville, that's from Louisville, man. That's a little Louisville, that's Kentucky, man. And everybody, my city's a little more popular than I used to think. A lot of people be like, oh, I know some people out of Louisville, you niggas crazy. Shit like that. So, yeah, man, I chopped with that man, and I bought smoke from that man, and I smoked with that man, and we chilled, and we talked and about some shit a few times, man. It wasn't always a bam dip, Sometimes I sit there for a minute, and, I enjoyed the atmosphere. I could tell this nigga was authentic. I could tell this nigga was genuine. I could tell by the respect he was getting from the other niggas that he was really important. He was somebody. And I start bumping that motherfucking A+ CD, and it hit hard in my motherfucking Lincoln. I had that Lincoln with them 215s in the trunk at the time, and I'm talking about when I would pull up on motherfuckers bumping that, they would diss cuz. I left that out. That's another thing that made me and bro right. Everybody know about Rolling 20 Crib. Everybody know I'm from Rolling 20 Crib. Everybody know it was my thing. You know, here recently I denounced that gang banging shit for reasons of where I am mentally and my awareness and how I'm woke nowadays. You know, that's another story, another video. Look at my video, gang gang, and you can see how I feel about that. But at the time, to embrace each other, and he was talking that crib shit, he was feeling my crib shit. Shout out to Young Dolph down there, you know, he's from rolling 60s. So it was old love or no love, you hear me? It was rich rolling, you get me? And the nigga Dolph loved the fact a nigga was crippin'. I love the fact he was crippin'. He was representing that shit. And we had a lot of shit we talked about, man. He was trying to give me some game on some fucking LLC shit before I even knew how to pay attention to it. Man, he was trying to tell me all kind of shit I could do. And dude was the truth, man. Dude was real. Dude was solid. Dude had co-signed for me in that hood. I used to pull up sometimes and shoot dice over that motherfucker. And there was some other niggas I met from that hood that didn't live over there. Like, they would live somewhere else, but they always hung over there. So sometimes I pull up through there and chop with them niggas, and I end up going to kick it with them niggas over in their hood. Back on the east side of some apartments off of Mendenhall. I can't think of the motherfucking apartments, man. You fuck with me and you remember this shit, tune in. Young Dolph, tune in and tell me what them apartments was so I can remember. But however, Kurt used to go over by himself. I used to go over by myself, nigga. Dice games, big boy dice games with 6-7 niggas showing up that I ain't never seen. They got big guns on them and shit, nigga. I was never worried, nigga. I did that shit by myself. Your boy be traveling alone. I was by myself. My homeboy Valley, the people he fucked with down there, they was some lames. Not all of them, but particularly these old heroin head ass nigga. He was a lame nigga, trying to set me up and everything. Nigga even ran off with my bag, nigga. Gave that nigga a zip of that kill or some of that perp, and then they went. It's a Memphis move they do. That nigga went in the front door and dipped out the back door of a crib he had me pull up at, and made that nigga leave town. Yeah, because the niggas I fuck with down there was for real, and they ain't like that he pulled that move. You get what I'm saying? Got me for. I was only charging $350 for the zip, but he got me. Puss ass nigga. So the niggas that I was chopping with hated that nigga too. They wanted that nigga too. So you know how it go. The enemy, your enemy, and my enemy makes us friends, or however it go. So them niggas accepted me. They knew I was authentic. They seen me put in work. They seen me, you know what I'm saying, doing some things that was proof that I was official. And they had some respect and some love for a nigga. And really because of Dolph. Because when the niggas would come over to the house where I'd be, man, I'm talking about, it was days that I hit on the craps. It was days that I leave with 3-4 racks off that dice game, shooting on my niggas' table. You get what I'm saying? Nobody tried to get me when I left and shit. And when niggas would come in and be like, who's this? They be like, that's Spook. He from 20s. That's Dolph's partner. You know, I didn't know what that meant then. That didn't mean nothing to me. Dolph was just a nigga down there, you get me? There's a few other little things. I might be forgetting some details, but the moral to the story is, I did know that nigga. And the nigga showed me love. And I knew before he even did anything that he was really the truth. And you can tell when you meet a motherfucker. So, however, some people will hear me playing that Dolph and be like, what's that? That's that Dolph, man. We don't listen to that shit, man. We listen to Gotti down here. Or whatever bullshit they was bopping. And I tell you what was out at the time. That motherfucking gold all on my chain. Gold all in my ring. That old motherfucking Trinidad boy. You know, I bumped it too. You know, I ain't dissing Trinidad, but I'm saying at the time, that's what was out. That's who was hot. That's the sound that was going on. So, yeah. That boy, he did his thing. You know, that's the first time a white boy ever said nigga to me. I beat his motherfucking ass. You know, the little hood I was staying in, white boy had a whole lot of swag. He was cool as a motherfucker, but he was like, nigga, you tripping. Man, I two-pieced him so quick. You know, I'm fresh out, had all my swole on, had that penitentiary mentality. And I'm like, they like, oh no, he's cool. They let us scrap, you know what I'm saying? They ain't let me dog walk him, but they let me get my point across. I'm like, nigga, where I'm from, you motherfuckers don't say nigga at all. I don't give a fuck what you going through, and I still feel like that. I don't give a fuck how cool you are as a white boy. Nigga don't come out your mouth, because you not a nigga. You ain't never been through the nigga struggle. I don't care what hood you live in. I don't care how many niggas you hang with. It shouldn't come out your mouth. Mexicans, I don't even feel the same way when they say nigga, because whether they understand it or not, they are niggas. Nigga. Yeah, but white boy, you don't fucking say nigga. And I'll stop fucking with you on the spot if you try to pull that shit with me. So, however, the white boy said nigga, and I did the two-piece him, I beat him up real quick. And, yeah, that was that. And it was funny, really. It was one of them fights as funny as a motherfucker. Everybody was laughing, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you was mad as a motherfucker, cuz, because I was pissed, nigga. It was some B-Dog niggas down there I fuck with that was tough. I fuck with them B-Dog niggas. Another pussy nigga down there, I remember his name, that nigga named Trent. That nigga named Trent. See, Lisa and Velly and them from Vegas. Lisa got a sister named Tina. I've been fucking on for years, you know, so we grew up in Vegas together. That's my Vegas family. But Trent is her nigga in Memphis. So he a bitch just because he know the history. And on the low, Tina still slide me that pussy while I'm down there. You know what I'm saying? So that nigga Trent a bitch. Fuck you, nigga. You a hoe. And every chance I got, I want to slap you. Because that nigga tried to set me up with the nigga that ran off with my pack. They was partners. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just reliving the love that I was showed down there and the fun I had down there. And so, however, yeah, when I be bumping that Dolph, you know how local people don't want to support the local artists until they blow up. Then when he blow up, they won't be on his dick. So I'm just thinking of how many people. I even had a little bitch down there named Shay I was fucking on. I fuck with her real tough. I had a chick that I respected to this day. Her name was Keisha, a little nurse bitch. You know, that was my bitch. I ended up staying with her. That was my baby. You know what I'm saying? Shout out old Keisha Haddix. You can name drop a bitch's name, just not no steppers. But there was a lot of hating going on around there, but it was ultimately a lot of love. And at 2 Chainz was out too. At 2 Chainz with Drake at that time. You know what I'm saying? That smoking on that gas. Life be on Cinemax movie. Yeah, man. All that was hitting at the time. I was fresh out. I just did that 7 years, so I was living life, getting that money, and didn't even know that was chopping it with one of the greats, man. I didn't even know that this man Dolph would be a great. So what ended up happening is I ended up going back to my city, Louisville, man. You know, I'm on paper. I done made a little money down there and done kicked up a little dust down in Memphis. So it was time to, you know, ski skirt on back. I'd actually caught a case. Shout out, you know what? I was riding. Memphis, Tennessee's always, since I was out anyway, they had this law where anybody can have a motherfucking gun. That's why them youngsters have guns. Of course, not no felon, but anybody can have a motherfucking gun. You get what I'm saying? So I was taking trips back and forth from Louisville to Memphis, like I said. When it's time to check in, I check in. When I got to take care of business, whoop, 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 I shoot back to the city, shoot back, you know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop. So I get little bitches to ride with me and shit to be official, you know what I'm saying? This one bitch particularly, she rode with me because she had a little blicky. You know, we got pulled up on the highway. Police was trying to put the gun on me and she wasn't going for it, man. That bitch named Sonya, and she a G, man. She a solid motherfucking G. I tried to marry that bitch. That's how powerful, that's how bad that bitch was. She would not let them dick suckers put that gun on me. They was like, nigga, your records say you a high profile trafficker and you stay on the highway with guns and dope, and you got dope case after dope case, gun case after gun case. We putting this motherfucking 40 on you. And the bitch wasn't going for it. The bitch was like, no, that's my motherfucking 40. Ain't no way in the world you gonna put it on him. If you want to take me to jail, take me to jail. Do whatever you want to do. They ain't do none of that. But however, I be coming back to the city of Louisville. I be trying to tell niggas, man, come down to Memphis. I even had my daughter, you know, my oldest daughter, Lil Nadi. Lil Nadi was down in Memphis with me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I let her experience that little shit. And it was just a nice little time. It was a nice time to be free. And it was a nice time to get some money, and not even knowing who I was chopping it with would end up being one of the greatest of all times. End up being a fucking legend. And I ended up moving back to Louisville. because things, was cracking in Louisville now. Rest in peace, my nigga Kane. He was an official nigga at the time and really had me official, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely was rocking with Kane back in Louisville, from the Lexus, bought the Benz, from the Benz, Escalades and shit, started money and cars was coming. Things was great until I just kind of lost touch with Dolph. You get what I'm saying? When you leave town, sometimes you hit niggas and shit, sometimes you don't. Last time I talked to Dolph was when I was in that hood with him, and we was all chilling on the cars and shit and just, chopping it. But however, I can tell you I was sitting in my mama's house on 22nd and Magazine, Louisville, Kentucky's West End. That's a weird ass nigga doing. However, I'm sitting at my mama's couch, listening to the radio, and that motherfucking Young Dolph, a song came on. I'm going to tell you what song it was. I just can't tell you right this second. But that motherfucking Dolph came on, and I was like, I know that nigga. 2 Chainz had featured him in a song. And that's the first time I heard him, and I'm like, that boy he's making moves with that music. I kept showing about it, because I kept that CD for a long motherfucking time. I kept that CD so long. I do so much moving and traveling, it's hard to keep up with so much shit, man. I ain't even lost the copies of my own motherfucking CD, Crew and Unusuals. If you out there, you got any copies of Crew and Unusual, now there's so much new shit going on. You can have it on YouTube, Spotify, what the fuck ever they call the shit. That little shit be, back then we didn't have all that shit when it was just starting. So I hate that. So if you out there and you got a copy of my Crew and Unusual CD, man, get at me, send me that, do whatever you gotta do, I'll pay for it, whatever you want to do. But anyway, I'm trying to show everybody that's this nigga. Man, I go on my phone, call the nigga, that number was changed. Congratulations, Young Dolph, man. You did that shit. And over the next 2 years, I was one of his biggest fans, nigga. I bumped every CD he dropped. I went and got every fucking CD he dropped, nigga. And a few times I had to shoot back to Memphis for different things, man. I went through it looking for that boy. That boy wasn't ever there. That boy wasn't ever. I talked to all them niggas that I used to talk to. Because anytime I be making my trips from Cali or Vegas back to Kentucky, I take that 40. And that 40, you gotta go through the 40. Once you get to Memphis is where you catch that 65 to go to Louisville. Or if you leave in Louisville, you gotta go all the way down to Memphis to catch that 40 to go across. So there's never a time I wouldn't stop through Memphis and go through my old little areas and shit. Motherfuckers move and move on, and niggas is in jail, niggas is dead, and I would always just miss that boy Dolph or some shit like that. I left my number, man. Tell that nigga call me, man. Tell him little spook, man. Spook. His little partner, a year ago or two, they used to, we just never reconnected, man. Never reconnected. And then one time, many years later, this is like a few years back, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was on my way to the emergency room for some shit. And I stopped at the light. I was in my S500. Now, my S550, that white on white S550 Mercedes. Everybody know me. Everybody see me in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I was in that S550 thing. That 4MATIC, yeah. And he was in like a brand new Escalade, loked out, like, and he had the window down, and we was at the same red light. And I looked over and seen him. He looked up. I was like, hey, nigga. He said, hey, boy, what's up? He was on the phone. He had like shit going on. I had shit going on, and the way the traffic was set up wasn't nothing we could do, man. And I could tell he knew me but didn't know me. He remembered me, but he done made it big, the boy big at this point. I'm just another, was just another familiar face to him. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have a deep enough relationship where he'd have been like, Curtis? You know what I'm saying? But he was like, oh, my nigga. Oh, my, what's your boy? We couldn't do nothing. Cars blowing. You know how Atlanta is, boy. Ain't no that traffic. When it's time to go that way, you got to go that way. And he was in that turning lane to go that way. And I'm going straight. That light turned, and the cars went crazy. And, man, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Young Dolph, man. That's why I feel how I feel. That's why I say what I say. So when them boys came to dissing Dolph and shit, I try not to take sides. Black Youngster, I used to like Black Youngster. That boy was funny to me. You know, he's funny. He got some street cred, and he, to me, he made decent music, and he's more intelligent than he appears to be. And it was all cool all the way up until my nigga got killed, man. And then this nigga started dissing him and shit when he was, you know, so I quit fucking with the Black Youngster. To this day, I won't listen to no CMG, nothing, man. Nothing. And I had started playing the EST nigga. I didn't give a fuck about him being from Newburgh. I'm in all these other cities. I was proud to say, you know, that's a nigga from the Ville. You know what I'm saying? But then he go and sign with the Gotti nigga, man. I just tell you, I don't like Gotti, man. I never liked him. Even back in the day, I preferred Gucci or Jeezy. I did not like Gotti. And then he's beefing with people on... I don't know Gucci, but I fuck with Gucci. I'm a fan. He done crossed over Gucci, you know. I just can't fuck with that boy. And now he's caught up in this shit with Dolph. He done got my boy Kyle shot up in one city, done got him shot in Cali, and then now my nigga's dead, man. So I'm not really happy. I can't be proud like I want for the EST nigga, and that's where the conversation it came from. And then my nigga was like, man, I ain't know you knew the nigga, man. And maybe you should tell that story. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should tell your viewers that story. Look, it done got dark now. I gotta move to Versace. You get me? So that's my story. That's how I knew Dolph. That's what I knew of Dolph. If anybody can remember me, remember this face, remember these stories that was in that circle at the time, reach out, shout out, do whatever you got to do. Long live Dolph and that whole PIE family, man. Shout out to Grove Hero, man. You a stand-up guy. Fucks with you, guy. Key Glock, all you niggas over there. You know what I'm saying? Moochie and Grape and all them niggas from PIE, man. I fuck with you. And I just can't fuck with anybody who got anything to do with the assassination of Young Dolph, man. And I got more than just being a fan to feel that way. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to end this here. And I'm going to say shout out to everybody that was involved in that story. If you know who you are, if you want to be known, want to make it public, you can do what you want to do. It just ain't for me to be name dropping everybody's names and shit. I don't know where people stand. I don't know how that war is going in Memphis right now. And I was all over Memphis, man. I lived on the east side, but I was all over that motherfucker. You know, I was doing my thing, and I was fucking with cats who was doing their thing. And, yeah. So, I'm going to end this right here, man. Fuck with me, tune in, man. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit, man. You know, whoop, whoop. I'm about to start bringing y'all a whole lot more footage of Heat, man. Everybody know I had a little heart attack. Actually, November the 7th, a few weeks ago, man. I had to do some back, you know, moving and shit, grooving. I'm back. I'm healthy. I ain't had to have no surgery, just a catheter. You know, I'm good. I'm good. I'm back, and I'm about to bring y'all all kinds of content. So, I'm signing off. Shout out 502. Shout out Memphis, man. Love y'all. Holla.